Every day you separate a number of substances from their mixture. We will look at some of the examples. So every morning when your father or mother makes tea, they use this strainer. This is called as strainer, okay? It is called as channi in Hindi. They use this strainer before pouring the tea in the cup, right? You have seen this. You almost every day see this. So why he is doing this? Why your mother or your father is doing this? Because they are separating the tea liquid from the tea leaves, right? They are separating a useful component, because we drink tea, from a non-useful component, that is tea leaves, because we usually don't eat these tea leaves, right? We throw them away. So this was the first example of separation, where we have separated a useful component from a non-useful component, right? Separating tea from the tea leaves. Okay, you have understood this? Okay, we will now look at some more examples. So have you seen this at your home? This continuous stirring of curd, which is also known as churning of curd. So why do we do this churning of curd? Why the curd is continuously stirred? Because we get makhan and lassi by continuous stirring of curd. Okay? So this separation is being done to separate two useful components. We use both makhan and lassi. We want to eat makhan also and we want to drink lassi also. That's why we are separating these substances by continuously stirring the curd. You understood this, right? So this was the second example of separating makhan and lassi by continuous stirring of curd. Okay, you understood this. Now we will take some more examples. Okay, what is this? This is a wheat plant, a plant from which you get your wheat flour or atta, right? So basically, this part of the plant, this part of the wheat plant has grains in it, right? You can see that, right? And this part of the plant is known as stalk. This stem kind of thing. This is stalk of the plant, and these are the grains, okay, from which you get your flour. By grinding these grains, you get wheat. Okay, so after harvesting the wheat plant, what we do is we separate these grains from the straw or the stalks, right? And why we are doing this? Because we eat these grains. We eat these wheat grains. By grinding them, we get our wheat flour, okay? And these stalks or this straw, what we call, we feed these stalks to animals. It is used as animal feed. Okay, so this was one more example of separation, where we have separated the grains from stalks of the plant, right? You understood this, right? Okay, now let's take one more example. Okay, this example you have studied in your chapter 3, fiber to fabric. I hope you remember it, right? We have studied about cotton ginning, right? What is cotton ginning? A process in which cotton fiber is separated from cotton seeds, right? So this process, this cotton ginning, is also a separation process. What we are doing? We are separating cotton fiber from cotton seeds, right? Okay. Okay, so take a look at this one. This is a bowl of salad, and your mother wants you to eat all the vegetables. But if there are some vegetables which you don't like, what you will do? You will pick up those veggies which you don't like and you will eat the rest of them, right? So what have you done? You have separated the non-tasty food from tasty food, right? So this is also separation. Okay, so now we have looked at number of examples where we do separation in our everyday lives, right? We have also understood that there are many reasons for which this separation is done, okay? So we will now look at the reasons in broad, okay? Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, the topic is, why do we separate substances? So the number one reason for separation is to separate harmful substances from a mixture. Sometimes we do separation to separate the harmful substances from a mixture. Let's take an example. So when you separate stones or insects from pulses or rice, that is, you are separating harmful substances from the mixture. You must have observed that when you go to a shop and when you buy some rice or pulse, so you will see that there may be some insects or stones in it. So your mother, before cooking this rice, she will, pick up those stones and insects, and then she will wash the rice and then she will cook it, right? So what she has done, she has separated harmful substances from a mixture, okay? So we do separation to separate harmful substances from a mixture. Okay, the next reason for separation is to separate some non-useful substances from a mixture. And the example is straining tea leaves from tea. We have already seen that tea leaves are non-useful for us, and that's why we separate tea leaves from tea, right? So we do separation to separate non-useful substances from useful substances. And the third reason why we do separation is to separate two useful components if we want to use them separately. We have seen this example also, that is separating lassi and butter by churning curd. So what we have done? We have separated two useful components, lassi and butter, by churning curd, because we want to use them separately. We want to drink lassi also and we want to eat butter also, right? So you have understood the three broad reasons why we do separation: to separate harmful substances from a mixture, to separate non-useful substances from a mixture, and also to separate two useful components if you want to use them separately, okay? Now here is a list given in your book, and it says that there are three instances, okay, and you have to tell that why you are doing separation in these cases and what you do with the separated component, the component which you have separated, what you ultimately do with it. So let's take one example from here, okay? Separate stones from rice. So why you are doing it? To remove the impurities or harmful component, right? Stones are impurities and harmful for you, okay? And what you do with these impurities, the stones, what you do with them? You usually throw them away, right? You always throw them away. Okay, now let's take this one. Okay, churning curd to obtain butter. Why you are doing this? You are doing this because you want to separate two different but useful components, right? And what you do with these separated components? We use both the components. We use both lassi and we use butter also, okay? Now separating tea leaves. So why you are doing this? To separate non-useful component. What is the non-useful component here? Tea leaves, right? And what you do with these tea leaves? You throw away this component, right? Okay, so now we have seen the various reasons why we do separation, and also we have seen many examples where we do separation. Okay, now we will study about different methods of separation. There are various methods by which separation can be done, and you have to study all of them. So we will quickly look at all of the methods. So different methods of separation which you have to study are hand picking, threshing, winnowing, sieving, sedimentation, decantation, filtration and evaporation. You have to study all